Nobody in this village must have a white skin. Anybody that has a white skin must die.
Once upon a time there lived a village where everyone in the village were black in complexion, including a newborn baby, adults, children, and even some animals. They were not dark in complexion, but they were black. There was no single white-skinned human in the village, but one day something happened. Amina broke the curse of that land. She was the only girl that was born with a white skin complexion, and what later happened to this small child will melt your heart. Before I continue this story, do well to subscribe to your channel and comment where you are watching from. I would love to know where you are watching from. Let's continue. The night Amina was born, the sky did not just rain, it screamed. Thunder rolled like 1,000 drums, and lightning tore through the clouds as if the heavens were fighting. In the village of Igbekun, dogs barked wildly, chickens flapped in panic, and even the oldest trees bent low in fear. The elders whispered that such a storm only came when the spirits wanted to announce something powerful. Nobody slept that night because the air felt heavy with mystery and destiny. Inside a small mud house, Mama Sola cried out in pain as the midwives rushed around her. When the baby finally came, the room fell silent. The women gasped. The child's skin was pale like moonlight, not dark like everyone else's. Outside, villagers gathered quickly, shouting that the spirits had sent a curse. Instead of joy, fear filled Igbekun, and the night that should have been a celebration became the beginning of a painful story. At dawn, the elders entered Mama Sola's house with stern faces. They stared at the baby with anger and dread, saying that a white skin meant disaster. Some claimed she would bring famine. Others said she would anger the ancestors. Mama Sola tried to protect her child, but the pressure of the whole village crushed her heart. The elders beat their staffs on the ground and demanded that the baby be removed before the next sunset. That evening, trembling and weeping, Mama Sola placed her baby in a woven basket. She kissed her forehead and whispered, "Forgive me, my child." The villagers forced her to leave the basket at the edge of the thick forest. As Mama Sola walked away in tears, the villagers believed they had saved their land, not knowing they had just thrown away their future savior. When night fell, something strange happened. Fireflies formed a glowing circle around the basket, lighting up the darkness. A wise old tortoise named Koro slowly approached and gently nudged the basket as if guarding it. Soon, a deer, a monkey, and a bright green parrot gathered around the sleeping baby, watching her with curious eyes. Instead of letting harm come to her, the forest wrapped her in protection. Soft leaves fell like a blanket over her body, and a nearby stream sang a gentle lullaby. The animals took turns watching over her, proving that while humans rejected her, nature accepted her with open arms. Days passed and the animals continued to care for the baby. The deer guided her to clean water, the monkey brought her sweet fruits, and Koro the tortoise decided she needed a special name. He called her Amina, meaning peaceful one, because her presence brought calm to the forest. As Amina grew, she began to notice strange things. Flowers bloomed when she touched them, and injured animals healed when she sang softly. She did not understand her power, but she felt connected to every tree, river, and creature around her. By the time Amina was 10, she could run like a gazelle and climb trees faster than the monkeys. Her pale skin shimmered slightly in sunlight, making her look magical. Sometimes she felt lonely and wondered why she was different from everyone else. At night, the wind whispered to her, "You were born for a great purpose." Though she did not fully understand, she trusted the forest and grew wiser, kinder, and braver with each passing day. Back in Igbekun, years passed peacefully after Amina was cast out, until one terrible season, people began falling sick with a burning fever that no medicine could cure. Crops withered, rivers turned dark, and animals died without reason. Fear spread through the village like wildfire. Mothers cried for their children, warriors dropped their spears, and the elders knew they had angered something powerful. Desperate, the elders traveled to the sacred mountain where the oracle lived. Thick smoke filled the air as they performed rituals. Then, in a deep, shaking voice, the oracle spoke. "The land is suffering because of your cruelty. Only the cursed child you rejected can heal it." The elders fell silent in shock. Some felt shame. Others felt regret. But all knew they had made a terrible mistake. A group of brave villagers set out to find Amina. They carried kola nuts, white cloth, and a palm wine as gifts. Their journey was long and dangerous, filled with wild animals, deep rivers, and thick bushes. As they entered the forbidden forest, their hearts pounded with fear. They wondered if Amina would forgive them, or if she would let the land perish. After days of searching, they found Amina sitting beside a giant python coiled around an ancient tree. The villagers froze in terror, but Amina calmly whispered to the snake, and it slowly slid away. She looked at them gently, already knowing why they had come. There was no anger in her eyes, only sadness and understanding. The villagers fell to their knees, begging for forgiveness. They confessed their cruelty and pleaded for her help. Amina listened quietly, her face calm like still water. After a long pause, she said softly, "I will help, not because you deserve it, but because the land is innocent." Relief washed over the villagers like cool rain. As Amina walked toward Igbekun, flowers bloomed beneath her feet. Birds sang joyfully above her, and even the wind seemed to dance around her. The villagers followed closely, realizing that she was truly chosen by the spirits. When Amina reached the dry river, she knelt and placed her hand in the cracked ground. Slowly, water began to flow again, clear and sparkling. Fish jumped happily, and the villagers gasped in amazement. Hope returned to their hearts as they saw the first miracle with their own eyes. Amina walked through the dying fields, whispering ancient words taught by the forest. Within hours, green shoots pushed through the soil, and leaves grew fresh and strong. Farmers fell to their knees, thanking her for saving their crops and their future. The elders stood before Amina with bowed heads. They admitted their wrongdoing and begged for forgiveness. Amina forgave them, reminding them that wisdom grows from humility. They promised never to judge anyone by their appearance again. That night, Amina performed a sacred ritual beneath the full moon. She called upon the spirits of the land, asking them to remove the sickness. A bright light surrounded her, and the wind carried her prayers across the village. The ground trembled softly, and peace filled the air. By morning, the sick villagers were completely healed. Children laughed, fires burned brightly, and smoke rose happily from cooking pots. Igbekun was alive again. The entire village gathered to celebrate Amina as their true savior. Mama Sola finally saw Amina again. She ran to her, crying tears of joy and holding her tightly. Amina embraced her without bitterness, showing that love is stronger than pain. The villagers welcomed her into their homes with respect and honor. From that day forward,